Hi everyone, welcome back to my videos about programming in Go. This video is the last part of the series about an introduction to web programming, and it will focus on HTML template. Before we begin with HTML template, let's review the GitHub issue tracker program that uses text template. We wrote this program in the previous part of an introduction to web programming. This program defines a constant string holding a text template. Then it uses functions and methods from the text/template package to parse the text template and then execute it to the input containing the GitHub issues. In this lecture, we will write another GitHub issue tracker program but using HTML template instead of text template. The new program is issues.html.go. To implement this program, we will use the HTML/template package instead of text/template package. The HTML/template package wraps the text/template package so you can share its template API and expression language to parse and execute HTML templates. But it adds features for generating HTML output that is safe against code injection attacks. In the issues.html.go program, we first have to define an HTML template and store it in a constant string named HTML template. Then we call function new of the HTML/template package to create a new template object named issuesList, and then call function parse on that template object to parse the given HTML template. Here we skip the call to function funcs because we don't need it. Note that the function names new and parse used in this program are the same as though in the text/template package, but they are defined in the HTML/template package. Like function parse in the text/template package, the function parse in HTML/template package returns a pointer to a template object and an error object. But the template type here is defined in the HTML/template package. So variable issues list refers to a template object that contains the result of passing the given HTML template. The remaining code is to execute the parsed template stored in issue list to the input from the GitHub.showIssues function. This code is the same as that in the GitHub issue tracker program that uses text template. So it calls function execute, but the function execute here is defined in the HTML/template package, not in the text/template package. Now we focus on defining the HTML template for the GitHub issue tracker program named issues.html.go. An HTML template is the same as the text template, that is, It is a string that contains substrings enclosed in double braces. Those substrings denote actions. The only difference is that the string for an HTML template is an HTML source code, while the string for a text template can be any text string. In this example, it has the HTML tag h1 to format the first line of text as a heading, like the big heading. The first line of text contains the action showing the current value of the total count field. So this line of text will display the number of issues. Then it uses the HTML tag table and slash table to display the list of issues in a table format. Each issue is displayed in a row, which are enclosed in a pair of tr and slash tr tags. The first row is the header with four columns for number, state, user, and title. Each row for each issue is enclosed in the pair of tr and slash tr tags inside the loop action. Recall that the pair of actions, range and end, creates a loop. So this is the code of the issues html.go program. So it contains the HTML template constant. Okay, so that contains the HTML template, and it also has the check error function, and in the main function, so it has the code for parsing the template and executing the template to the input returned by the github.searchIssues function. Okay, so now let's run this program on the terminal. Okay, so here we need to move to the location of so we need to remove to the location of the of this program first. So it's in /go example web slash, so here HTML template slash v0. Okay, so now we build this program first. Go build issues html.go. Okay. All right, so now we can run this program on the terminal. To run this program, we type the list. We type the list of shows a term after the program name, which is issues HTML, and then press enter. And of course, so what you see is the HTML code that the program produced. So that is the output of this program. Okay, so that is the code. Start with the h1, and then it has the table, and in the table it has several rows. Each row corresponds to an issue. When running issues html.go program on the command terminal by typing the list of shows terms after the program name on the command line, it will display the output of the program, which is an HTML source code on the terminal window. To see how that HTML source code is interpreted, we add the output redirection operator followed by an HTML file. The output redirection operator is denoted by the larger than size. It redirects the standard output of a command to a specified file. If the file exists, its contents will be overridden. If the file does not exist, it will be created. In this example, the output of the issues HTML.go program is redirected to the issues.html file. When you open it with a web browser, it will display the content like this. So it shows the number of issues formatted as a heading, and then it has the table with 4 columns, and the top rows is the header, number, state, user, title, and each of the following rows corresponds to an issue that was found. In this example, we define an HTML template as a string inside the code of the Go program. But defining such a hard-coded HTML template is not practical, especially in a large, complex web application. So instead of defining the HTML template string, we save its content as an HTML file named issuestemp.http. And then we use the parse files functions of the template package and passing the issuestemp.html as argument instead of using the new and the parse function in the HTML/template package. Okay, so now let's look at the final code of the issues HTML.go program. In the first part of the code, we import the packages that we need, including the HTML/template and the GitHub package. So here we also import the log package because we use the log.filter function to handle the error, and we also use the OS package to get the argument from the command line. And then at the package level, we also define the check error function as in the issues.go program. The second part of issues HTML.go program just have the main function. And in the main function, we have the code for passing the HTML template, but here we just call a function pass files of the HTML/template package and passing the HTML file that contains the HTML template. So make sure that the issuestemp.html file is saved in the same directory as the issues HTML.go program. Otherwise, you would have to include the full path of this HTML file as the argument of the parse files function. And the parse files function also returns a template object, actually a pointer to the template object, and an error object as in the other version. And the remaining part of the main function of issues HTML.go program is just to execute the parse template to the specific input returned by the github.searchIssues function. So this part is unchanged. You can also compare this final code with another version, this link. So that is the original version. You can see this. There's another way to implement the same program. Now that we have written the GitHub issue tracker program that uses HTML template, we can run it on the command line as shown earlier. However, that's not user-friendly. Therefore, we want to write a web server for handling the request for searching for GitHub issues. This web server allows the user to enter the list of search terms into a form on the web page at the URL localhost 8000/search. After the user submits the form, it will display the search results at the URL with the /view path. The results are displayed in the same format as the input of the as the output of the issues HTML.go program. So this web server will be another example of using HTML template. The web server we are writing is the issue_server.go program. This program imports the HTML/template package, the log package, the non-standard GitHub package as in the issues HTML.go program. Unlike issues HTML.go program, this web server program does not need the OS package. But here it also imports the net/http and strings packages to handle HTTP requests. This program has the function check error as in the issues HTML.go program. This web server will have two handlers for two paths /view and /search. In the main function, it connects the view handler to the incoming URLs matching the /view path and connects the search handler to the incoming URL matching the /search path. The program then calls the http://listen_and_serve function to start listening on the TCP connection at port 8000. This is the definition of the search handler function of our web server program. First, it calls function parse files of the HTML/template package to parse an HTML template stored in the search.html file. The search.html file simply holds the HTML form for entering the search terms. No data will be inserted into it, so no template action are present in search.html file. But we can still pass it to the parse files function. The action of the form is /view to indicate that form submission will go to the /view path. This form has two inputs. One is the text box named issues and the other is the submit button. After passing the search.html files, we need to check if the parsing has any error, and if not, we execute the parsed template to a new input and output the result to the response writer of the handler. And finally, we checked the error of the execute function. The view handler works similarly to the main function of the issues HTML.go program. That is, it first parse the HTML template given in the issue temp.html file, and finally executes the parsed template to the input returned by the github.sourceIssues function. There are two changes in view handler compared to the main function of the issues HTML.go program. The first change is that the output of the execution of the parsed template is written to the response writer of the handler instead of to the terminal. The second change is that the argument to the github.sourceIssues function is not taken from the command line argument, but from the HTML form at the /source path. Recall that this HTML form has an input text box named issues, which contains the list of source terms that the user entered. We call function form value on the given HTTP request, passing the issue's name as argument to get the text that the user has entered into the issue's text box. The extracted text is stored in the string variable input text. Then we call function fields or package strings to split input text string into a list of words, which can now be passed as argument to the github.sourceIssues function. This completes the code for our web server program issue_server.go. You can test it just in the same way as you test other web server programs. So this is the end of the video. If you have watched all the videos in the series about an introduction to web programming, you should be able to write basic web apps that display output in JSON format or HTML. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next videos about programming in Go. Thank you.